What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Expanded Thursday, and today we're looking at one of the most hyped decks of the format right now, and that is Trevenant and Accelgor. I know the next probably hyped deck is probably Archeops, but I think this deck actually has a really good chance against Archeops if you can get the turn 1 Wally into Trevenant, but we'll go over that here in a second. Now, the deck revolves around Trevenant, which has the ability Force Curse. As long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent can't play any item cards from his or her hand. Now remember that they can't play any item cards. Now that's a big deal because your attacker in the deck is a Accelgor, which has the attack deck and cover. It does 50 damage, and the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed and poisoned. Shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. So you deck and cover, you put a Accelgor, a Shelmet, and a DC into your deck. Now when you do this, you obviously promote a Trevenant with Force Cursed. Now, usually when you're paralyzed, you can't attack, you can't retreat, anything. The only way you can get out of it is you play a switching card, like maybe a supporter card to pick it up, or a Keldeo with Rush In, something like that. But with deck and cover, with Force Curse, you shut down the escape rope option, which is pretty nice there. Now, you might be saying, alright, what about Keldeo and stuff like that? We'll go over that here in a second. The only real way to get around a deck and cover with this deck is your opponent has to play an AZ or a Cassius, and I think that's it. That's AZ or Cassius, or Pokemon Center Lady. There we go. AZ, Cassius, Pokemon Center Lady. How can I almost forget her? Now, let's go over some support Pokemon in this deck. We play 1/1 Ninetales. Ninetales has the ability Barrier Shrine. Each player can't play any stating cards from his or her hand. Now remember that. That's important. We'll talk about that in a second. The next up is Munna and Musharna. You could use Munna. It has a long distance hypnosis. Once during your turn before you attack, you may flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. We're not really using that, or if tails, you're asleep. But we're not really using that. We're using this for Musharna, which has Forewarn. Once during your turn before you attack, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose one of them and put it into your hand. Put the other card back onto the top of your deck, which is pretty nice there. I mean, if late game in, you get like in down to 2 or 1 cards, and you need to hit that crucial DCE or Accelgor, whatever you need to win the game, Forewarn can help you, and so I think Musharna is really needed in this deck. You could try to YOLO and not play it, but it maybe cut for more supporters. But we're playing it right now. Now we play 1 Shaman and 1 Jirachi, just depending on the situation, if you need Stellar Guidance or if you need setup. And that's all the Pokemon in here. It's 22 Pokemon. It's a lot of Pokemon here, but we should be able to get it out. 1 computer search for consistency. 4 Lovable search deck for Pokemon with 90 HP or less. Phantom, Vulpix, Ninetales, Shelmet, Accelgor, Jirachi, Munna, Musharna, and Trevenant and Shaman are the only ones you can't Lovable for, which is pretty nice and why we run 4. We do play 1 Sacred Ash, shuffle 5 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck. This gives you the option early game to Ultra Ball away some Pokemon you don't need right away. Maybe you draw into like a Ninetales or Musharna, but you don't have a Munna or Vulpix, and that way you don't have to be scared to Ultra Ball them away. And then also, you notice we don't play Dusknoir in this deck. So whenever you deck and cover and knock out a Pokemon, they can swing it to your Trevenant or Lysander or something up and knock it out. So you need Sacred Ash to get back this Pokemon just in case. Now we do play 1 Town Map, turn over your prize cards face up, so that way you can see what's prized, and there's a DCE. If there's Pokemon in there you need, you can just grab it when you take a knockout. And I think it's really crucial in this deck when you need all these different components in the deck to actually make it work, which is good. Which why Town Map is in here. 4 Ultra Ball for consistency. 3 VS Secret to use supporters, 2 Course. You're usually going to have 5 Pokemon on your bench, so you're guaranteed 5, and usually your opponent has 2 to 3, so that's 6, 7, 8, depending on how many they have. If they have 5, you can draw 10, which is pretty nice. 1 Lysander, bring up a bench Pokemon, and we'll talk about it here in a second what you usually want a Lysander. 2 in. You don't want to in too much. You just usually want to use Juniper or Colors to draw a bunch of cards. Now we play 3 Wally in this deck. Search deck for a card that evolves from one of your Pokemon, excluding Pokemon EX, and put it onto that Pokemon. This counts as evolving that Pokemon. Shuffle your deck afterwards. You may use this card only the first turn or on the turn that Pokemon was put into play. So if we play 3 of these, so that way if you're lucky, you could start Phantom, you could Wally into Trevenant and get a turn 1 item lock. What does your opponent do there? That is such a big deal. And if you can get this out, you usually crush your opponent that way. And also late game, you can first Seeker for Wally to get a Accelgor if you need to, or maybe if you need a Ninetales or Masharna, you can get it with Wally. I think Wally is really good in this deck. I know some people are playing Evo Soda. I cut it right now. We might put it back in here right now. Evo Soda lets you search deck for a Pokemon and evolve it, but you can't use it on your first turn. If you could use it on your first turn, it would be broke because it's exactly like Wally, but I don't know, it doesn't seem that good right now. 2 Silent Lab and 2 Skyfield. Now Silent Lab, alright, so back like we said earlier, if your opponent plays Keldeo, they can rush in and retreat, fair enough. You can rush in, retreat, you're not paralyzed anymore. Same with Virizion, if they have a grass energy, they're not paralyzed. But with Silent Lab, each basic Pokemon to play in each player's hand and each player's discard pile has no abilities. That means Keldeo can't rush in, Virizion doesn't have Verdant Wind, and you can shut them down this way. And what you want to do is you'll put down a Silent Lab and then put down a Ninetales to lock the stadium in play forever, and you don't have to worry about Keldeo or Virizion anymore. Now, obviously, if you play against a deck that doesn't have Keldeo or Virizion, you don't have to worry about the Ninetales at all. It's a free bench spot. But usually, your Pokemon's like this. It's a Trevenant, 2 Accelgors, a Ninetales, and Masharna. That's 5 on the bench. You got, what is it? 2 Accelgor, a Trevenant, Masharna, and Ninetales. That's 5 on the bench, and then Trevenant in the active spot there. That's usually how you want your bench filled up and everything like that. And it's pretty hard to get, but we can get it easily. Now we do play 2 Skyfield. This lets you have up to 8 Pokemon, and this is of course if you had to play Shaman early game, you could discard it later with Skyfield. And when you put the Silent Lab out, which is great because that way you can get rid of your only EX Pokemon, and you're not scared of benching too many Pokemon down too, which is great. And I play 4 Floatstones, so your Trevenants have free retreat. And you actually want to be careful with your Floatstones. One thing your opponent can't do is license up a Masharna or something. And if you don't take care of your Floatstones, then that Masharna is stuck in the active spot there. It has a 3 retreat cost, so attaching a DC does not help at all. Ninetales has a 1 retreat cost, so you don't have to worry about that. If they bring up a Trevenant, then they're still item locked, so who cares? Accelgor has free retreat, and we could just slap a DC on it. Shaman and Jirachi both have 1 retreat also, so you just need to make sure you keep your Floatstones carefully, just in case, like I said, they do license up a Masharna. And for DC, that's all we need in the deck to tackle the Accelgor. And that's the deck here. It's probably not the perfect list, it's still being worked on. If you don't expect a lot of Virizions or Keldeos in your area, you could cut the Ninetales for more stuff. Maybe Tropical Beach, but, I don't know, I was playing with Tropical Beach here, but I was having bench problems, so we put the Skyfield on there right now. If I could fit 2 Tropical Beach in here, that'd be pretty nice. Just depending on the situation, you could have Tropical Beach or Skyfield. Maybe you can try to YOLO and play a 1-1 line. But this is the list right here. We're going to play it. We're going to see what happens here on Expanded Thursday. It might switch up some before Regionals. But hopefully you enjoy the deck. Hopefully you understand a little bit more about Accelgor Trevenant. And let's see it in action. Alright, so you're putting against Taxi DATS. Alright, Tails. We get to go first here. Hopefully we can get a turn 1 Wally. And we do actually get that. So we'll put down the Phantom here. We'll play the, there's a Latios. Oh man, is this Fortress Dunk? If it is, we can Wally turn 1 onto Trevenant and basically shut that deck down. So yeah, we'll get the Trevenant out. We'll computer search, discard Chorus and Chorus. And let's see if Shaman's in here. I should have looked at for earlier just a second ago, but I decided not to for some reason. But there's Shebe. So put the Floodstone onto the Trevenant, put down Shaman, draw on 4 cards here. And we'll actually attach a DC to Shaman. And here we'll just end our turn. Now my opponent can't play any trainer cards because of Forest Cursed. Or any item cards, sorry. There's a Force of Giants Planet come down. Juniper, discarding a Fortress. There's a Fortress coming down, put 10 damage to a Trevenant. Shaman, draw on 2 cards. And this is the problem with Fortress, and we see a victory screen coming down onto us. If you get the turn 1 Trevenant, what can Fortress do? So in Regionals, if there is a Fortress deck, and it is best 2 out of 3, if you win the opening coin flip, and get a turn 1 Trevenant, you basically just win that game, because they can't play Devolution Sprays, Recycle, Trainer's Mill, Acro Bikes. All those trainer cards in their deck become useless, and you should be able to win there. And you get to see how powerful a turn 1 Trevenant is against Fortress. Now, there is a lot of Fortress online, so hopefully I can get another game without playing against his deck. But hopefully you enjoyed the turn 1 Trevenant, and we'll see another game here in a second. Alrighty, so we're playing against Full Fire, playing a Psychic colorless deck. Call heads like always. And they are going first here, nice Psychic colors. That could be anything. Maybe Wobbuffet, Shaman, Crobat. I don't know. It's some kind of Psychic deck, though, that's for sure. Let's see what it is here. I was thinking Fortress Dunk, but it needs at least a silver in it, too, to be the Fortress part. And it needs the grass part, so that's way off target. But let's see what he gets to do here. There's a Golbat, there's a AZ, Mitch Valley, there's a Sycamore. It looks like we're playing against Wobbuffet Bats. There's a Megaphone, some other stuff. But we get a Phantom. We actually have a really good turn 1 here. We get to put a Vulpix down. Why not? Draw for the mulligan. Draw for the mulligan. Draw for the mulligan. And put the Muna down. And there's a Wobbuffet. There's a Miltank. So it seems like it is Wobbuffet Bats. Pretty weird matchup for sure. You don't really know where the where to put your stuff at. Here we see a Skyla. The annoying thing about Wobbuffet, though, we have Silent Lab to shut down Wobbuffet. That could be cool. We can put down Silent Lab, shut down Wobbuffet, and they get Ninetales out, so that could work that way. We get the Wally turn 1 to get the Trevenant out. You put a Floatstone onto it, and then put a Skyfield and Shaman, draw a bunch of cards. Here we see a Repeat Ball, probably grabbing another Wobbuffet. Seems good, okay. And it passed my opponent, nothing really turn 1. So, you use Muna, long distance hypnosis, trying to put the Wobbuffet to sleep. But we put ourselves asleep here. Here we use a Wally. We'll get a Trevenant. Not that big of a deal. We have Trevenant turn 1. That's good. Put that bad boy down. Here we'll put down the Skyfield. We'll put a Floatstone here. We'll Ultra Ball, discard a Trevenant and a Juniper. We'll get a Shelmet. Put that down. Oh, not the Shaman. Not yet. Hold on a second, Shaman. Shelmet, Shaman, draw. Oh no! Oh no! I forgot about the Wobbuffet. Oh man, no! Alright, now we end our turn. That was a big misplay on my part. I forgot about Wobbuffet. I was gonna say maybe we should put down Silent Lab, but here we see Cold Skin Sticks. We just got trolled by Wobbuffet. We see a Psychic Ninja go down to Wobbuffet and a pass my opponent here. Alright. We get down the Accelgor. We're gonna use Log Distance Hypnosis, trying to put the Wobbuffet to sleep, and we do. And here we'll just end our turn. Tells they say sleep here. He can't use Super Scoop Up. He can use AZ though, but if he does that, he does have to discard a Psychic Energy. Here we're seeing another course for 6. Zubat coming down. Misplay of this year, Shaman. Why'd you let me down? Alright, Wobbuffet stays asleep here. What are we drawing to? A Jirachi. Alright, here we'll end our turn. I was like, oh, we drew Jirachi. We get a supporter. And I was like, wait, Wobbuffet, Wob. I forgot about Buy a Barricade. Alright, we'll see what happens here. Looks like we might see a Psychic Soul for 10. Not that big of a deal here. Let's see, what are we drawing to? A DCE. Alright, so we have a decision. We could DC up the Shaman, which I don't know what that does. But I like that play at least. We get the Shaman off the bench here. Retreat the Shaman, and here we will Sky Return for 30. Sit up Trevenant. Maybe if we draw into a Lysander, we could do it that way. But the real thing I'm going for, never mind, that doesn't work. I mean, next turn we can't duck and cover. 5, then 6, and it comes back 7, and then 8 gets knocked out to his turn. So we could do that. We'll have to see here. We haven't played a supporter really. We discarded that Juniper on accident when I thought I could play Shaman. So big misplay on my part here. I mean, we could put down Silent Lab to shut down our own Shamans and Jirachis. I've never seen N. Oh, he saves us. Thank you, Pokemon. There we see a Dimension Valley coming down. Alright, so we're in the game now. We see a Golbat coming down. Where's the 20 down to the Trevenant here? That's fine. See 40 damage. My turn here. We're going to get a Lava Ball. And we're actually going to grab another Phantom just in case this one gets knocked out. Put it down, and here we'll course for 8. Alright, so we get Talon Map here. We get a Silent Lab. And then we do the Silent Lab. We can actually put Ninetales down. Alright, it's good for us here. So here we'll Lava Ball for another Shaman, or another Shelmet, sorry. Put that down. And we'll have to end our turn here. Now the Trevenant will get knocked out though, which is pretty annoying. But hopefully we can draw into another Trevenant. There is at least two left in the deck, and there's none prize. One in the discard pile, two in the discard pile now. We'll sit out the Accelgor, and let's see what we draw into. And Ultra Ball, we can Ultra Ball, discard Skyfield, and in. And here we can get the Trevenant out. Put that down, put down the Accelgor, Reverse Seeker, and here we'll grab a course, get 8 cards. And do we get the DC? We do, very nice here. We get the Floodstone too, put the Floodstone on the Trevenant, put a DC here. We'll Ultra Ball, discard Wally, and a Jirachi, and here we'll get Masharna. We are working to get these DCEs too, they're pretty good for us. So put down the Masharna, and here we'll deck and cover for 50, sit up the Trevenant. It goes down to 20 HP left. The big question here, does he have an Azir now to pick up this Wobbuffet? Maybe see Zubat coming down, or Lysander. Lysander could be really bad for us too. We've already used one Floatstone, and that's the thing you have to worry about. If your opponent plays multiple Lysanders to bring up these Pokemon, you'll eventually run out of Floatstones. Here we get the DC onto the Accelgor, Burst Seeker. We're going to grab another course, because why not? Seems like the best supporter in the discard pile right now. Play it. We get an Accelgor, or Shelmet. We get Ultra Ball, discard Lysander, and a Shaman. Here we go, another Phantom. I think we have another one in the deck. I was pretty sure we had one in the deck. Put that down. Use Forewarn just to draw another card. We'll grab, it doesn't really matter. We'll grab a Juniper. Here we'll retreat to the Accelgor. We actually should have just passed and not do this knockout right now, because that's really bad for us, because if he Lysanders up this Shelmet, we'll run out of cards basically. And we'll grab a DC here, set up the Trevenant. Yeah, that's a big misplay on my part, because the Lysanders here will be in big trouble. We see Miltank coming to act spot here. It can use 80 damage, not that big of a deal, but it is a big deal when he puts down a Golbat, put 20 damage onto our Trevenant. Here we see a Sycamore. Does he get a Crobat and energy? He could knock out a Trevenant here. And there's the energy. Does he get the Crobat or not? There's another Miltank coming down. Crobat going to put 30 damage counters. I guess on the active, it doesn't really, I don't think it mattered. Or yeah, it did matter. Alright, so we put the Shelmet up. Put the Accelgor, Lovable for another Shelmet. Put that down. Put down the DC here. Put down the Trevenant. Here, a course for 9. We're looking for a Floodstone. We did get one. And we'll put it down here. And here we will actually Lovable for another Shelmet. No, not you. Shelmet, there we go. Put that down. And here we'll Ultra Ball, discard Silent Lab and Juniper. Grab another Accelgor for next turn. And here we'll actually forward too. We're just getting cards out of our deck here. Grabbing another Accelgor. Here we're deck and cover 50. And we'll send the Trevenant here. So 40 HP left. Now, my opponent can still easily win this. I mean, they are winning right now. Because this Miltank's going to get knocked out. There's an AZ picking up the Crobat. Okay, that's good for him. Now he can reuse Crobat, put 30 damage onto whoever he wants to. Probably onto the Trevenant. Seems like a good play. How many Floatstones are we down right now? Just 2, 3 right here. Alright, so 30 damage onto Trevenant. Next time we got double Accelgor, which is great for us. So Accelgor here, Accelgor there, DC here, Forewarn. I don't know what we're looking for. I guess we'll grab the Verse Seeker, it doesn't matter. We're going to end our opponent down to just 4 cards instead of the 5. And here we will treat, and we'll just deck and cover here. Or no, we need to put down Shelmet, because if we do, like I said, if he Lysanders up the our Accelgor, we'll be in bad position here. So we'll deck and cover here, knocking on the Miltank, send up. We'll take a Sacred Axe actually. Seems good. And that way we get back Shelmets and everything. And let's see, my opponent can. I mean, he can easily knock out this Trevenant here, and we'll see what happens. If he gets an, he could Psychic Assault for 60. He doesn't knock us out yet. Here we see Sycamore, 70 cards off in his deck. There's an energy. Does he have a Golbat too? Oh no, it does knock us out. Why did he not knock us out last turn? I'm pretty questioning that. But here we put up the Accelgor. Now here's the weird part of the deck for sure. We're gonna have to use Sacred Ash. And here we'll grab back a Phantom, Trevenant, Phantom, Trevenant, Trevenant. That seems good, I guess. And here we'll use Forewarn. We didn't get either card I wanted. Oh, that's bad. Okay. We'll just grab the Juniper, keep the Accelgor in the deck at least. Put down the DC here. Put down the Floatstone. Put down another Accelgor. And Juniper, there's a Phantom, there's a Shelmet. And, yeah, we're going to deck and cover here. And we're actually going to promote this Accelgor. Alright, so see, the Milting has 40 HP left. It's going to be a close match for sure. That's for sure. It's like energy going on a Wobbuffet. And does he have a Golbat or not? He's already used probably his only AZ in the deck. There's a Repeat Ball. He can start using those. He is not trainer locked anymore. But I'd rather sacrifice the Accelgor than our last Phantom. We see a Zubat coming down. He could use Super Scoop Ups now if he has any left in the deck. And he has discarded a bunch of stuff. But he has yet to discard a Super Scoop Up. So he has multiple options there. You see a Muscle Band in and a pass for us. Okay, so put down a Trevenant. Forewarn. We get the DCE. Put the DC here. Put down the Accelgor. And here we're actually just going to Verse Seeker and play Juniper. We're going to deck ourselves out to grab that Floatstone for sure. But it'll be okay. We can deck and cover, put everything back into our deck. Put a Floatstone here. And here we'll just deck and cover. Take it a knock on the Miltank. And we'll take another DCE. And we'll set up the Trevenant. And let's see what my opponent has here. Okay. So in the training lock again. And that's going to be the battle of can we hit a DC every turn, basically. As long as he doesn't Lysander or anything up, we should be able to win the game. He hasn't played a single Lysander, though, so that is a little bit of a worry for me. We'll have to see what Full Fire decides to do here. This is a really close matchup, and this is a problem when you don't play against EX decks. They just... non-EX decks can just, like, run over you, as we see with the Miltanks and stuff. So, pretty close game right now. We got a Shelmet, we got a DCE. We can Forewarn, just draw more cards. We see a Psychic Energy going down Crobat. And we'll probably see 30 damage going to the Trevenant, maybe? I'm not sure here. I'll have to see where he decides the 30 damage to go to. He does have a Muscle Band on the Wobbuffet, so it's an additional 20 plus damage with the Psychic Assault. But we see actually 30 damage going down to the Ninetales. Here we're Forewarn, we'll grab, and it doesn't matter. We'll grab a DC for sure. Put down Shelmet, put down Shelmet, put down a DC onto the Accelgor. Retreat here, and here we'll deck and cover. Alright, we'll send up the Trevenant. Now, the annoying thing is, when we deck and cover next turn, we will knock out this Crobat. So here we'll put down Accelgor, here, Accelgor, DCE, Forewarn. We'll grab a Shelmet, I guess. Put that down, and here we will retreat and deck and cover for the knockout. If I have 140 HP, that'd be nice, but it doesn't. We'll send up the Trevenant here. And, we'll just grab the Wally, and that way we can burn it next turn. We can Wally into a Accelgor for sure. And let's see what my opponent decides to do here. We see Wobbuffet come to the active spot here. Looks like we might see a Psychic Soul for 30. There's a Golbat coming down, so we see a Psychic Soul for 50. Alright, not knocking us out yet, but we're in trouble for sure. Here we'll Wally, just to burn it, get the Accelgor out. Put it down here. We'll Forewarn, grabbing the Shelmet. This is such an exciting matchup now. Put down the DCE and retreat to this Accelgor here. And we'll deck and cover for 50. Send up the Trevenant here. Now the problem is, has my opponent run out of energies? That could be another thing too. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6, 7, 8. I don't think he's run out of energies. But we'll put down another Shelmet. Put down another Accelgor. Put a DC on this guy. Forewarn. As you see, we keep adding cards to our deck, which is bad for us. Grabbing a DCE. Retreat to the Accelgor. And here we'll deck and cover for the knockout. And here we'll grab another Shelmet. And send up the Trevenant. We're just trying to continue the Accelgor train. But the problem is here, we have to grab another DC after this turn, or we will run out of attackers. Let's see what my opponent decides to bring here. Probably the Crobat has free retreat, so why wouldn't you send it up to the active spot here? But you can see how annoying this deck is. It's fairly annoying. We'll set up the Trevenant here. And he's got... If he has an energy, he can knock out a Trevenant. There's a Fan Club. Okay, that's not a AZ or anything like that, or I don't know. There's a Zubat coming down. Not really worried about that. There's a Wobbuffet. Does he have another energy or not? And it doesn't seem like it are good for us here. We'll put down the Shelmet 4-1. We're grabbing an Accelgor. There's two Accelgors in there, so we're good to go. DC here. Retreat here. Put down the other Accelgor. And here we'll duck and cover for 50 poison. And it looks like we should win this game here. Unless he life centers us and somehow stalls us out. That could be a problem. Then we see a victory screen, and you see why this deck is such an annoyance. I mean, duck and cover, they can't do anything. They only usually have one chance to attack you. If the math doesn't add up right, come back into your turn. And we actually misplay there, putting that Shimmy down early. But hopefully you enjoy this deck. I know it's not very fun to watch, but you can see how strong Accelgor, Trevenant, Ninetales, Masharna is. I mean, once we lost that stadium in play, he couldn't put down his Dimension Valleys. He had to attach two energies to actually touch the Wobbuffet there. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something new about Wobbuffet, Accelgor, Ninetales, and you can see why it's probably one of the best contenders for regionals. I hope you have a great day. Alrighty, bye.